Christian, because they were a paying music gig, and I was looking for paying music gigs. Um, and just, if you're playing in a pew and you're playing, or we're in a band pit, I should say, if you're playing in a band pit and you're playing God's music, you can't deny his presence there. You really can't. You can try and you could say, oh man, I just played really well today. But the fact of the matter is, every time I play, there's one point during worship where I just feel like he's directing my fingers. I'm not playing. And slowly I started reading the Bible. I started thinking, this is my adult choice. As a kid, I went to Catholic high school, and I don't know. I felt as a kid that I was being force fed faith. So it was really my decision to finally just say, okay, I want to sit down. I want to read the Bible for myself, and I want to see what I believe in. And man, just God spoke to me in so many different ways in those moments. And I really just appreciate the faith that I have now, because it was my conscious decision to be a Christian. And it's helped my mental health so much. It's helped my writing. I'm a lot happier of a person because
Yeah,
God has just blessed
you're
me in
real
so many
happy.
different ways.
But that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, even in the short and in the span of a couple of years, God's blessed me in so many different ways. He's given me Bethany as a wife. He's given us our music careers. He gave us a free wedding. I don't know if you know
I
about
saw
this,
the
but we
pictures.
actually, yeah, well, we won a wedding. I don't know if we told you about that.
You what?
Want a wedding?
We
Won a
won a
wedding?
wedding. We won a wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's an interesting story in itself. So, last year around March of 20, I guess it was 2020 last year, 2020, March, things were going hot and heavy as far as like gigging goes. We were, planning on going to go play out in Washington, D.C. I was in Colorado when everything had started shutting down. And, we were supposed to go play for the Student Television Network with Bethany's project. Obviously, we couldn't do that, and there was, that whole narrative. Oh, this will blow over in a couple weeks. Not a big deal. Obviously, that didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
And we had we had a 200-person weddings planned for September of last year.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
So April or May come around, and Bethany and I were with her dad, and we just had the conversation: should we cancel our wedding? And we knew it was the right thing to do. It was really hard, but
Yeah.
we canceled it. We didn't want anybody getting sick, especially with that many people. And a couple weeks go by, and Bethany finds a contest on Instagram. And it was from some vendors out in Pflugerville, Texas, who wanted to gift a wedding to a COVID-affected couple. And Bethany was just like, I enter a lot of contests. Sometimes she'll win like free, like $50 things of Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. So she's like, why not? What could this hurt? The vendors reached out to her and said, only 20 people really applied for this. And we thought that was a good opportunity for us to parody a song that we would normally play live. And
Right.
it was Miranda Lambert and Keith Urban's We Were Us, but we turned it into Please Choose Us, about how
cool.
COVID affected our wedding and
Yeah.
how we want them to choose us.
Hey, Blake, can you hold that thought? We're going to go to another quick break, and we'll be right back.
Sure.
Hold on. Okay. It's okay. Blake, so you was in this crazy wedding. You guys were getting ready for this crazy wedding. So tell me more about it.
So we were getting ready, and we had to cancel it. And Bethany found a contest on Instagram, and we really prayed hard, and it was we were hoping for some sort of we were hoping for some sort of positive news. So and my church all the while had been broadcasting services via Facebook. We had just gotten some new technology, so that way we could have different camera angles, we could have good audio quality. And so we were continuing church, but socially distant, and we were doing it. We were broadcasting it on Facebook, so we didn't have it open to the public. So we were still going to church, and I was still playing for the church. And I won't forget it. It was a Sunday afternoon. We were all outside, and it was actually a really beautiful day. We had a camp-themed church day, and we were waiting to be interviewed for our final round of interviews from these vendors. And, I'm doing my thing, setting up, getting ready to go play some worship. And Bethany and I prayed right before they talked with us. And we see about 15 or 16 people on a Zoom call. And they pretty much just surprised us and said, y'all are the winners of this contest. And we just broke down, and
Oh, that's awesome.
we had not had too much work at that point, because I had gone from having 45 students privately teaching to about maybe 10 or 11, just because there was no real easy way to teach online at that point for me.
Right.
And another part of our income came from performing, which wasn't really happening except for at the church. And so to be blessed with a wedding valued at $20,000, man, that was $20,000. Yeah.
God really blessed
we
you.
were
Oh my goodness.
we were really blessed. We were really blessed, and it was a really just, it was just a good. I'm getting emotional here. It was a way for God to just. It was a way for God to just say, "I love you. I want to take care of the two of you, and I want to bless this wedding." So, and we had money that we were planning on paying for the wedding. It was way, way higher in value than we were planning on spending on the 200-person wedding. So, we had everything except for what we were wearing provided for us. It was really cool because we had a wedding planner, we had all these different things, but we really, they pretty much just asked for our opinions, and we wanted to give these vendors a lot of creativity just to be able to do what they wanted, because this was something to help them too. They hadn't been doing as many weddings, and they just wanted to go out and do a wedding. So we had about 25 people in the actual wedding. And it was really awesome because for Bethany, when she showed up in her dress, she didn't actually get to see the venue itself. And the venue itself was a photography studio that had a garage door. So when they opened the garage door, Bethany, not only did she see me in my blue suit for the first time, she saw the entire wedding venue for the first time, she saw it decorated for the first time. So she got to see her wedding for the first time as a surprise as she was walking down the aisle. So that's just one of the many ways that God's blessed us. He's definitely taking care of us.
I'm getting emotional.
I could talk for hours. Oh man, I've never seen. I've been working with her and her project for years. And I was working with her for years before we started dating, and I have never seen her look at anyone the way that she looked at me when she was walking down the aisle.
Wow. Man, I wish I wish I was a fly on the wall on that one. Wow, that is
I think
so
we
cool.
have a
That is
video
such
somewhere.
okay. Well, you're gonna have to share that with Rachel and I when we come see you. Um, because I think that some things are just meant to, be in the living room, showing videos and stuff. But no, that's a great story. And you don't hear about many weddings like that. You hear about contests, that you win a wedding, and I've seen that where they get married right on the show. But nothing beats that. What you just told me, I've never heard of that before. So that's really awesome. Um,
Thank you.
so I'm looking forward to, in the future, and I hope near future, getting Bethany on, and she's got a great story herself. And so I guess that you and I are going to be working together quite a bit this next fall, you and Bethany and I, because you guys are going to be part of my project, film project, which is going to start filming in the fall. And Bethany and you are going to be part of that.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that, and hearing more guitar music. And was there anything that you needed to add there, Rachel? Was there a question?
Oh no, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
You don't have to watch it from home.
Yeah.
Rachel usually watches the show from home, so it's a real treat to have her here. And actually, you get a chance to meet her too, Blake. And I didn't know this was going to happen, but I think it's great. So,
Yeah.
you said that. So you kind of are you on a worship team there in Austin?
Yes, I am. I play for the Abundant Life Community Baptist Church, and that's out in Pflugerville, Texas. My pastor is Deshard Freeman, and when I initially took on a worship based guitar role, I was thinking it was just going to be very simple. I could sing your love forever. Not the case. Gospel music is very hard, to the point where you'll start having to play something 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and got to keep that intensity up a lot.
Wow, that's what
Yeah,
I'm calling
and so
serious worship.
it's
Wow.
definitely a I guess you could call it a hootin' and hollering type of church. We're definitely
Yeah.
doing. It's great though. It's been pushing me, spiritually and musically, and I love it.
So, who is your musical influences anyway?
Oh, that changes every day. um, I'd say some of my guitar influences, and they are some Christian guitarists. Matias Asado, for sure. As far as guitar playing goes, he's got a lot of very smooth electric clean guitar lines. Jabari Johnson as well. He is a Christian artist, but he is a phenomenal guitar player. I'd also say, just in general, Miles Kennedy is one of my favorite singers slash guitar players. He is the singer for Alter Bridge. He's also Slash's singer. And I don't know. It kind of depends on the day. Sometimes I'll want to listen to some blues, so I'll listen to like Kenny Wayne Shepherd or Kingfish. Sometimes I'll want to listen to some progressive metal and rock music, so I'll listen to like Intervals or Polyphia. So it really depends on the day.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Phil Keaggy?
Phil Keaggy, no.
He's a contemporary Christian artist. He's a classic Christian contemporary. He plays all kinds of different music, and he was with Iron Butterfly way, way back in, I think, the early '70s, and then he branched off and started doing Christian music. And He's very instrumental, and he's got some really guitar lines himself that nobody else. It seems like he can play, but I just didn't know if you'd ever heard of him. He's been around for a long time, and so I don't know what he's doing. I haven't heard if he's doing any Christian concerts at all. But anyway, I just didn't know if you'd heard of him. But I guess those artists that you mentioned, did you say that they were like blues or jazz guitarists? Is that who they are?
Matthias is a neo soul artist, and he plays with a multitude of people. I know he plays with Tori Kelly, and
I
he
know who that
also
is.
plays. Yeah, I don't remember who else he plays with. He plays with some secular artists as well. Jabari Johnson, I want to say he has his own music. I don't remember who exactly he plays for out in Houston, but he definitely plays worship out in Houston as well. And those other artists that I mentioned, those are more the secular side of music.
Right. So how can we get in touch with you anyway?
You
How can
can
anybody that
go to
wants to
my
get hold of you?
you can go to my website. It's just blakejurison.com. There is a contact section, so you can contact me there. I also have Facebook and Instagram that I post to every now and then. So if you just want to shoot me a quick message on there, you can say, hey.
All right, man. It's been great having you. I can't wait to have you back on. Maybe coming up in the next month or two. I'd like to have both you and Bethany on. It'd be great, and I hear Bethany's story. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you said that where did you grow up again? You grew up in Covington,
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Metairie, Louisiana for the first 12 years of my life, and then Covington, Louisiana for my teenage years.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you being on. Up next was a good friend of mine. He's got a great show. It's Morning Mouth with Johnny Rooster, and I'm looking forward. He always has great guests and co-hosts, and I always look forward to watching him. And so stay tuned and don't touch that dial, don't touch that computer, don't click anything. Stay tuned for Morning Mouth with Johnny Rooster coming up next. And Blake, God bless you, and
Yeah.
what a great story you gave. And looking forward to. I'll probably be calling you or talking to you later, and talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for visiting with us. We really appreciate that. That was really nice.
Yes, thank you, and you
Thank
look
Yeah,
great.
this was fun,
by the
guys.
way.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We just put all these everything up here on the wall, and it looks a lot nicer on camera.
I bet. Well, Blake, God bless you and take care.
Y'all too.
All right, thanks. Well, folks, this is going to do it for this edition of Silver Linings. We're going to take off, but be sure to watch next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of clowning around. That was a hint, by the way. So we'll talk to you next week. God loves you, and so do we. Take care.